excited to have him back. Mr. Austin May. Let's give him 3 good claps. Go.
First off, I'd like to, again, thank you for this opportunity to be able to speak at this event. And I was thinking about, as I was preparing for this, where this came in the past few years. And at first you started in your room at the school, and there might be 10 or 12 guys that would show up. And there was a few donuts and maybe some milk, and freshman me always wanted to try to find an excuse to sleep in, right? I did find an excuse every once in a while, but eventually this church, started hosting these events. And there was a lot of food, and a lot of good food. So all of a sudden the numbers started going up, and there was more people starting to show up, and it's funny how that works. But I can't imagine how many young lives that you all have impacted from having this vision. And I begin to think about this idea, this idea that someone and some people would decide to hold an event of leadership and to teach young people about what leadership is. And I begin to think, why would a coach or a few coaches want to hold an event like this? Why would a church and the people at a church want to wake up early, to take time out of their Friday morning, whether it takes a few hours to prepare food for 100 people every Friday morning? Or why for the speakers, why would they, during their week, take time out of their week to plan and prepare a message or a speech for this Friday morning? And I thought about it's not for their benefit at all. And they don't do it for themselves. They don't do it so that maybe you can win 2 or 3 more football games. They do it so that it's maybe, just maybe, they might be able to impact and change the direction of your life from something that you might learn here. They do it so that just maybe they might be able to pull something out of you that you might not have seen in yourself. And so I thought about one word that could actually describe and describe this event. And the one word is selflessness, or humility, or servant leadership. They're all categorically the same idea, but the word of the day will be selfless. And so I've talked about many qualities of leadership before, as I've spoken at the other few times that I've spoken. Some of these qualities are things like courage. We have to stand firm and be bold in the eyes of pressure, tough in the presence of pain. And this idea of courage, that we can be strong and fight through those times that are tough in our life. And then I've talked about things like vision. That if we increased our vision, then we could see the ultimate goal, but we'd also understand that to get to that ultimate goal, there might be bumps and bruises and things along the way that might set us back. But if we knew that that was only part of the process, then we could consider those times pure joy, because it's only a step closer to our ultimate goal. And I've talked about things like hard work and things like passion, and all these are great qualities that we might see in a leader. And all these are qualities that you will find in great leaders, but all these are worthless without this idea of selflessness. And it's hard for me to talk about this idea, right? And as I was preparing, I was hoping that I could think of something else. Because in the past, I could talk about this quality and this quality and that quality, and I had all these ideas, but this time, this word wouldn't leave my mind, so I have to talk about it, right? And I was hoping I wouldn't have to. Because if you haven't noticed that this quality is the least valued quality of leadership in our society. Our generation, it's all about me, and look what I can do. Look what I did. Look at the talents that I have, and look what I achieved. And it's not that attractive to be selfless. And when I say attractive, I mean it's not that valued by our current culture. So as I thought about this idea of selfishness or selflessness, I wanted to define this idea for you so that we can continue on. And selflessness to me is the idea that you would do something for someone else so that they gain and that they benefit from it and you don't gain anything. To do something for someone else where they benefit and you don't benefit at all. And this is selflessness. Let me give you an example real quick. The sun in our solar system, all the planets orbit around the sun. Without the sun, all the planets go into oblivion and they're no longer found. This is what selflessness is to leadership. Selflessness is the sun, and all the other qualities around are the other qualities of leadership that orbit around this one key idea of what leadership truly is, and that's selflessness. Let me give you an example. If I'm a courageous person, and I do a courageous act so that I can fight through a time in my life, I might be a very courageous person. But if I do a courageous act so that my brother, or so that my teammate may be able to succeed, then I am both courageous and a leader. Or if I work hard for myself so that I may be able to achieve something, then I might be a hard worker. But if I work hard so that other people may be challenged or inspired on my team, then I am both a hard worker and a leader. Or if I have great vision over my life and I see that these are trials, and then I might be a visionary over my life. But if I unite a team and I have this one goal and this one team goal of this one vision and this one ultimate goal that we might achieve, then I am both a visionary and a leader. So all this revolves around this idea of selflessness. So, of course, what do I have to do to be able to speak to you guys? To be able to speak to you girls? I have to put myself in your shoes. And I have to think about, what would I be willing to do? Willing to change? Willing to sacrifice in my life so that I could do what I did last year? If I'm a senior, or if I'm a junior or a sophomore, even a freshman, what could I do today or tomorrow so that I might be able to experience what I did last year? What's going to put me ahead? And I thought about all those things, of the natural things of building my strength. I can hit the gym all through the winter. I can hit the gym all through the summer, and I can build my strength. I can work on my 40 time, my burst speed. I can work off the line. I can work on the power of my block. I can work on all these technique things and build my physical strength. Or I could work on my mental strength. I could think about the game, think about what I should be doing on the offense and defense at all times. I could think about these ideas and think about offensive schemes and defensive schemes to know what I should be doing. And I thought, well, isn't every other team doing those things? Isn't every other guy trying to get stronger? And aren't those easy things to do? Those are tangible things. Guess what? Anyone can get stronger. Anyone can get faster. And even if I'm progressing at slightly faster speeds, it's not making me that much different. So what can I do in my life right now that other people aren't doing? When we talk about what's not highly valued in our culture, it is those things, that quality of leadership, that character trait inside of you, that selflessness, that is going to be the very thing that allows you individually to stand apart from the crowd. You, as a team, to stand apart from other teams. I guarantee you, Pemberville Eastwood is not practicing leadership and isn't meeting every Friday morning with 100 people in a room. So I thought about some practical examples before we get into what it might look like on a football team. And I've talked about this in the past, of course, and it's the leader for 2,000 years that we've talked about, that everyone's talked about for 2,000 years, the most popular leader of all time. And I believe in him, though you may not. We're in a church, so I get to talk about it. But that's Jesus Christ. And what did he do? What was the objective of his life that he claimed? He claimed that suffer and die so that you may have the opportunity to live. So why is he the most talked about leader of all time? Well, he demonstrated the most selfless act of leadership. I'll give you another example. Let's talk about the military. It's fun to talk about. A lot of times we relate military to football. And the most prestigious, or some would argue, the most prestigious award in all of military academia is the Medal of Honor. And what we find when we look at the Medal of Honor, they call it the demonstrating a tremendous act of courage. But I think this can be changed to a tremendous act of leadership or a tremendous act of selflessness. Because we find that most people who get this award are dead when they get this award. That 90% of the people who get the Medal of Honor either have tremendous disability or they aren't alive. And why is that? That's because they jumped on a grenade so that their brothers around them could live. That's because they demonstrated the ultimate act of leadership, the ultimate act of selflessness to those around them. And it is that quality in those people that set them apart, that achieve the most honorable awards, or that are talked about for years on end. So what does this look like for a football team? What does this look like for you? And I can tell you what it doesn't look like so that maybe you can come up with your own conclusion of what it looks like for you. So, if you celebrate your great plays more than you celebrate your teammates' great plays, then you are not selfless. If you think that you are better than another member because you might have more talent, or you might be a senior, or you might be on the first team and the others are on the second team, or you might be on the offense and others are on kickoff. If you believe that, then you're not selfless. Or it might look like this. If you're not willing to accept when you've done wrong on the team, and to be able to look at that and look at your mistakes and say, guys, I messed up here, then you're not selfless. And I say that to get to this. A leader, or you cannot be a leader if you serve yourself. You cannot be a leader if you serve yourself. So of course I wanted to give you guys a challenge. Because I really wanted you guys to get this. Because this is something this is what leadership is. And a lot of people don't talk about it because it's so hard to talk about. It's so hard to do. But this is what leadership is. This is what makes great teams great. And the truth of the matter is, if you have 100 players on your team, then you need 100 great leaders to be the best you can be. Because any person that starts to become selfish on your team is one person dragging your team down. It's all about one community, one team, one breath, one goal. And I wanted to leave you guys with a challenge, tonight as you're preparing for your game and as you're thinking about what you're going to do tonight, and maybe as you think about the next games in the future. In each game, you might make a ritual or something. And I want you guys to take that time before the game, of course, to first envision what you can do for the team. First envision the plays that you can make. First envision yourself playing in that game and making great plays. And do all those things. But then, once you start to slip that jersey on, guys, I want you to think about what you're actually playing for. I want you to think about the name on that front of your jersey. want you to think about the thousands of fans that broke attendance records last year. I want you to think about all those people who have put on that same jersey right before you, and all those people that are supporting you. Not you, but you. They come to support the team, the community of Wheelersburg. And I want you to think about that. I don't want you to think about me, I want you to think about that. So as you go out tonight, it's not about the first person who runs through, the tarp. It's about when you're standing on the goal line and your arms are locked and you're swaying back and forth. It's about that. It's about the one united breath, the one united sway, the one team, one goal, one community, one breath. So I really hope you guys can grasp this idea, because this will be the very thing that can set you apart in your life as you move forward with your future bosses, or if you want to move up and progress in life. This will be the thing that sets you apart. This will be the thing that can set your team apart, because other teams don't want to work on it. So again, I thank you guys for this time to be able to share with you. And of course, B. Jackson.